March madness begins. March is the craziest, most intense and happening month in 2025. We're going to have two eclipses. We're going to have Venus and Mercury going retrograde. We're going to have Neptune moving into Aries. Bam, bam, bam. Each one of those events is big astrological events. Put all five together, and I called it March Madness. So this is very important to watch, to be prepared. The layers will be shifting, the directions of our lives with eclipses, fated events get activated in our lives. With retrograde planets, we turn direction, we start changing how we feel, think, and feel about something. With eclipses, we totally derail the train onto another direction, basically. So, wow. And it's all happening in Aries, around the Aries area. But actually, to know specifically how this is going to affect you, you can, even if you're not looking at this video, you can just go to my transit calendar, personal transit calendar at astrolada.com, enter your birth details. No one else in the world will have the same transits like you have. These videos that I do for each of the 12 signs, they're just for your ascendant sign or sun sign or moon sign. But this calculator calculates every position of the planet in your horoscope. Is it Saturn? Is it Mercury? Is it Venus? And it gives you the transits that you're going to have day by day. It's only free for 7 days, but each 7 days it gets updated. So you always see 7 days ahead, but you can open for a longer period. And if you want to see those eclipses, one in Virgo, one in Aries, will directly affect you, you can check. For example, this is my horoscope. The eclipse is directly affecting me. It's conjunct my Mercury. It will totally turn around anything connected with Mercury in my horoscope. And look how many extensive interpretations there are. Or what other transits will retrograde Venus directly? They affect you directly. You look at transits of Venus. Oh yes, retrograde Venus will be opposite my Jupiter. Retrograde Venus will be square trine my Uranus. You can see much more specifically than those videos how you will be affected. And of course, we end with Neptune in Aries. Crazy. The eclipse, I don't know what's going to happen with the world. Let me just be honest. There might be big revelation of markets with those retrogrades, Mercury and Venus next to Saturn, next to Neptune, eclipse on the same degree. Some big news with wars and peace, because it's all happening in Aries. The world either getting in arms or disarming. I don't know which way it goes exactly. Big eclipse, lunar eclipse in Virgo. Virgo is the sign of the working class people, is the sign of the medical and hospital industries and the diseases as well. So where is going to hit us from? I don't know. This eclipse in Virgo is exactly opposite Saturn and opposite Neptune. So you have to be more careful with health, because this is the axis of illnesses, diseases as well, water, matters connected to water. But then all the action is also in Aries. So we have water, fire. Let's start. I'm not going to go for the whole world, but individually, because you're important, how you're going to deal with these energies in your life. And believe me, this is once in a year, very rare opportunity or lifetime to really reset in a big way a certain area of your life where all this action is happening, whatever areas is. Let's begin. And by the way, I have 5-hour video for Neptune in Aries for each one individually, only for personal predictions. It's only $20. It covers all possible transits Neptune can have to personal planets over the next 13 years, sextiles, trines, oppositions on Neptune through each house, and they're all full of personal stories that I've watched people for the last 20 years, how they overcome Neptune transit, what happens in their life. I give you many stories from the highest to the lowest, remedies how to deal with that, and I also explain to you how to find all the transits. Very easy, you don't need to know any astrology. This is my love of work, my work of love, sorry. Neptune's affecting me already. For you, if you'd like to get it, I'm putting a link below the description. Pisces, Sun, Moon Rising, March 2025. Pisces, the month starts with Venus turning retrograde in your second house on the 1st of March, and Mercury will turn retrograde in your second house in the middle of the month. So we have the whole month here. The universe is kind of asking you to take stock of your expenses, where you put your money, how you budget, to reorganize your finances in some way, to look for alternative ways of doing them, or for ways that you have missed. Maybe something in your house or in your life has value that you have overlooked so far, or maybe a person, because Mercury rules people, the seventh house, others can be very valuable with their skill, their knowledge, and you have overlooked them, and now you see them through a different perspective and you start value them in a different way. And they can help you create more value in your own personal life. Venus also rules, Venus rules other people's finances. So they can be here, your partner's finances, or if you have money together with the business partner, for example, or money is coming to you through government or through external resources. Again, there might be some shift, some changing of direction there. Some adjustments that you have to do. You have to be quite flexible when it comes to valuables resources. But it doesn't mean it's going to be bad, because these two planets are benefics, Mercury and Venus. They truly want to make your life easier, more harmonious when it comes to resources, to truly keep what is valuable rather than clutter your life or just be a servant to circumstances which just bring you some kind of financial security, but they don't truly give you internal satisfaction. And you're going to be re-examining at those things. So some of you might even decide to change some source of income. And you might use this time of the retrograde, the whole of March until the middle of April, to research alternative or different ways where your financial security might come, or where to invest your money. I don't advise you yet till the middle of April to do some big shifts financially, in a sense, putting all your money or savings or into some investment, or to start to make money in a different way that's different to you've done till now. This is more time of reorientation, of looking at alternatives, of researching, to changing your mind about those topics, changing how you view them, how you talk to yourself about value and self and worth and money and finances. A good remedy I can give you for this is, second house is all your valuables, possessions around. When Mercury and Venus are retrograde, do a spring house cleaning, or just take your old things, donate them, give them, or throw them out. Free space there. Those planets want you to free space for new sources of security to come for you, the flow, for it to have a flow. And if you're hoarding, or if you're just holding on to old things and possessions, you're not letting place for new ones, because at the very end of the month there will be an eclipse of new energy, new moon eclipse with the North Node there in your second house, which means that from the end of March and the next 6 months, you will be able to welcome a new sense of security and independence financially, as ideas, as opportunities, as circumstances of some sort that you can implement, and they can be a source of financial and security support for you for 9 or 18 years ahead, because the cycles of the eclipses are 9 or 18 years, double, 2 times 8. 2 times 9, sorry. So first you do the spring cleaning, throw out messes, because this is happening in my second house as well. If I use not whole sign, but Placidus house system, I'm planning to declutter the drawers, to throw out some old clothes. We're even organizing in March with the girls to exchange clothes that we no longer wear. So I take someone else's old things that for me is golden secondhand, and I'll give some of my old ones to change the energy. You see, this is what it is. Change the energy. Second house is also your teeth. You might need to put more attention to your dental hygiene. Maybe change how you brush your teeth. Maybe change how you what toothpastes you use. Maybe do some herbal mixture yourself, or maybe some repairs to your teeth might be needed. And usually Mercury Venus is to make them more beautiful, more healthy, more balanced. It's also how you eat, the second house. You can make a big shift, turn around how you look at food, how your not just how you look at it, how you perceive how the importance food has for you. Your taste might change. You might start craving foods you haven't eaten for a while, or you might start shifting what you consider tasty, what you consider beautiful. Even your taste of colors, of food, of textures can shift in some way. You can use that. Of course, it's easier to eliminate during that time foods that are not so healthy for you, and to have a really restart of how you eat, what you put in your body, what substances. With the eclipse after that from April, because you'll feel the eclipse more towards April, but even into March as well. So you can, clean up the energy here, restart financially as well with the eclipse, with new sources of income, new sources, new ideas, plus how you eat. It is connected. People that have very often people with money, they eat healthier. It's people with money, first thing they do is change their teeth and start fixing their dental hygiene. And even the ancient sources says, if you're having problems with money, fix your teeth. I know how they used to fix teeth, but start taking care of your mouth, your teeth, change your eating habits. And that also will change the vibration of your abundance and wealth, because all those three things are ruled by the second house of money. Also, you might revise your value. How do you price yourself? You might underprice yourself, or you might overprice yourself. And there is this pullback of money, of finances, of your value that you carry within yourself, how you evaluate yourself to be more realistic, more harmonious, the value that you can bring to the world. Also, you might tap back to some forgotten resources that you had. They might be actual, physical, tangible objects that you have, that you bring back, you revive them, you make them beautiful furniture, whatever, or clothes that you haven't worn that you bring back life to, or source of income that you've forgotten about, that you revive and that you work on for the next couple of months and month and a half, and make it bring results to you, but also eliminating all such ones. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I got distracted for a little bit. This is your self-value, self-worth, or working on some project, maybe some of you, for a couple of months during those retrogrades here, that eventually by mid-April, or from mid-April to mid-May, when Mercury and Venus are both direct into your second house again, so more towards end of April, most of May, where you're going to see a big financial payoff from that, big stabilization, but first it might feel like you have more expenses, or that you're dissatisfied with something about how you pay your bills, your finances, your material circumstances, and you need to change something there. Change how you think about it, how you do it, how efficient you are. And the final result can be really beautiful, more harmonious, more streamlined income, more stable overall. Just that, because Mercury and Venus will stay in your second house, the whole March, and then from the middle of April again into May, the whole of May. So ultimately, definitely that can be very good news for you, for the material side of your life. And routines is second house, one of the house of routines. They might be a bit thrown up in the air in March. Whatever you have plans and things that you're really constant with, you're reshuffling there something. That might throw you off a little bit, but ultimately, again, the final result can be much better. The initial efforts that you put in it during the retrograde will equal, actually will be 3 times better results than what you had initially before this process started. Okay, so watch out towards the end of the month for new ideas coming to you with this eclipse there, for anything to do with those topics that I talked to you, on new circumstances. And if they're more expenses or financial stresses and worries, again, remember that Mercury and Venus are positive planets, they're harmonious, and the final result will be positive, even if right now you're a bit worried and uncertain. Just don't do something brand new, investments, financially, whatever, as I said. Just study. This is the period of research, alternatives, and so on. Also, but you can pull back money from some place, for example, or some money that's owed to you can be returned back to you, or some investments that you've made can pay back now during the retrograde period because it's returning. And Venus rules your 8th house of other people's resources, so you can see some returning back of this, or of investments of some sort. Then there is another big, this eclipse you'd feel very strongly because it's straight opposite you on the 15th, 14th of February, right when Mercury is turning retrograde, and Mercury rules your 7th house where the eclipse is, so it rules the whole eclipse. Mercury is turning retrograde, and your 7th house eclipse is happening at 23 degrees Virgo. 22, 23, which means that if you're Pisces from 20 degrees till 25, 6 degrees, this month is very potent. Your life can turn around through this eclipse. For example, if it's your sun around those degrees, it can be a turnaround, big change, big fated development with your career, or with an important male figure in your life, or with your goals in life. If it's your moon, those degrees, it can be your personal life or relationships or family or parent figures. That's some big change, fated development, for better or worse. It's always hard to say though. Happens, place that you live, big change, big announcement for the family or something. Or if it's your ascendant, definitely connected to your relationships, to the people in your life somehow, that they become a trigger for a big change in your life. But an eclipse on the axis of the 1st and 7th house always shows that the year ahead, or the next 3-4 months, there will be some pivotal development in your life, with career, with personal life, with, hello. He was just making sounds of explosions while I was talking about that. This is how it can feel like sometimes. Eclipses, explosions, everything is lightening up. Whoa! But for example, big years when I had eclipses opposite my sun, or on my sun, or ascendant on moon, it was years I got married, years I had children. Such big events in life. Sometimes they can be a bit more crisis connected to it, because this eclipse in particular is opposite Saturn. It might feel like a forced external change, or the need to let go of something. But again, ultimately it's for good. Some very important developments with relationships can happen for you, Pisces. For example, a person leaving your life because it's an eclipse full moon, to release, to let go, to let go of a relationship that no longer can grow. That's one way it can play out, the business or personal relationship, or some person leaving your life. Another way it can play out is that the relationship is taken to the next level, the next phase. So over the next 3 months after that, it can be a sign you can get married, or start having a child with someone, or I don't know, just take it on another level. But I've always noticed, and this is in ancient astrology rules, when the nodes are transiting the 1st and the 7th house, and of course there will be eclipses in the 1st and the 7th house, this is a sign that you might meet very fated relationships. And because the South Node is in the 7th house, this relationship is possibly a past life connection, and where you're completing something that you haven't completed. There can be a familiar feeling about it, or you might feel an obligation towards, complete an obligation towards a person, let go a relationship, and now that it's played out its role in your life as well. But yeah, there's this big focus, and maybe you start changing how you feel about someone, or involvement with someone, not always intimate, as I said. Because Mercury is also turning retrograde, your values are changing, or maybe something connected to some big development in a relationship or business partnership because of money, because Mercury is in the second house, or because of how things are priced, or who is giving how much, or maybe you decide to do something together with your partner, some financial project, for example. That's another way it can play out. So that's the eclipse that is very, very defining for Pisces, this one. And it's activated through others or from external circumstances. Seventh house is not always others, but it's kind of some external circumstances as well. And last but not least, at the very end of the month, there are last eclipse when it's happening in your second house, which is restarting, you're rebooting your finances, your self-worth. Your second house is about being self-sufficient. It's reboot there. Neptune is entering your second house. And I can tell you a lot about Neptune in the second house because I've just had it for 14 years there. For me, it was transcending my limiting beliefs about finances. And Neptune can help you fulfill unimaginable dreams that in capacities you never even thought were within your range. Neptune is like this really transcendental planet that helps expand your consciousness to unbelievable levels before, but it takes 14 years. It's not going to be one day process. Neptune moves in Aries on the 30th of March, so that's it. You've transcended your limiting circumstances and beliefs about financial stability and about your financial situation. No, it's 14-year process, as I said. But for me, all my financial dreams were fulfilled. The limitations I had, which I always grew up with the feeling that with the propaganda and the repetition that money is, everyone who is rich, they win it unfairly, they do something bad. That's what my parents used to repeat all the time because that was their reality. And I was really thinking being rich is bad, or being financially well off, not rich. It's impossible because all my parents, all my family were peasants, poor people. They always had to work hard. Money doesn't grow on tree. Well, on trees, Neptune helped me release and transcend all those beliefs, and almost through magical divine grace, fulfill even dreams I didn't think I knew when it comes to financial and to self-worth. It helped me transcend my extremely poor self-worth. I was so shy, such low self-confidence that I wouldn't even enter a store because I thought they would know I'm too poor for the store. So instead of Neptune bringing me poverty, it was the opposite. So I wish the same for you. But Neptune can have some, pitfalls when it's transiting the second house, and that's if your values are very material, it will dissolve all your financial security till you put your value in more intangible things, till you put your value in helping others, in being of some kind of a universal use and help for others rather than just selfish reasons to amass money. I explain all of this, how Neptune can make magical miracles for you, and what is the right state of consciousness to approach it if you don't want the dissolving and disappearing act of Neptune to happen. How to do it in my 5-hour webinar of Neptune in Aries. And exactly if Neptune is making hard transits from your second house, what to be careful about. If it's making sextiles and trines, magical. You might not even have to work for money when Neptune is in your second house, because if you might be working on some ideal or dream of yours and the money comes as a result, or you might be freed from the need to supply materially, take care of things materially. Sometimes Neptune can miraculously free you. It's a moksha liberating planet. But I speak a lot more about that in my webinar of Neptune in Aries, just $20, 5 hours, all aspects Neptune can make. And you as Pisces, Neptune is leaving you, so you must be relieved a bit. But Neptune is going into an active sign, Aries, so you'll be much more active in regards to taking care of your material needs and security dreams, and your values will be spiritualized and refined, and your taste in music and sounds and food will become more sensitized and spiritualized. And if you're still pulling back towards the old ways, you won't be able, because maybe some foods will smell too bad, some substances you'll be too sensitive towards, and so on. But Neptune is leaving you. That's the good news, Pisces. You'd come out, you'd awaken from a bit of a dream. You'd awaken from a bit of a, sometimes Neptune in your personal sign of the sun, the moon, or ascendant can be confusing, or can be, no matter how much you try to manifest, it's a bit hard, especially because Pisces is a very passive sign itself. But Neptune is going into active sign, and and now only Saturn will stay in your sign, so you'd be very grounded for the rest of the year. You feel like life is, you're getting more control over your life. You're more firmly stepping on the ground, that you're not spaced out in the clouds, that you're more clear about what you want and where you're headed. And life might not be as magical anymore, but it will become more easy to control. Your willpower, the more normal planets stay there, that the more under our control. So yeah, if you want to find out a lot more how Neptune, so if you have planets in Libra, in Cancer, Capricorn, or Aries, Neptune will continue to affect you very strongly, and which years exactly in the next 13 years. 14, or Neptune will really help you if you have planets in the air or fire signs in a magical way to manifest, especially the material circumstances of your life. So thank you so much. Enjoy the interesting developments. There's a lot of focus on relationships with the eclipse in the 7th house, and who to leave in your life and who to remove, and maybe some past life connections appearing, plus a lot of focus on security and financial growth in some way, and outgrowing the old. So thank you.